What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my quick review of the XinLin follower X162, and this is it right here. And this thing looks rather unique for a micro anyway, but this thing looks like a Walkera Scout, but it's a micro, so it makes it a little more awesome. That it's copying somebody else's design, but it's actually a micro. So this thing looks awesome with the little fake GPS thing in the back. This is not a real GPS. That's just for show. It can be removed because there is a screw in there. As you can see, you can take that off if you don't like that look. But this thing looks awesome, in my opinion. I think it looks really awesome. It comes in white and black. As you can see, the black version there on the box. This is actually the back of the box. My box was banged up pretty bad when I received it. But for the most part, the aircraft arrived here without any damage or anything. This is a really nice flyer. Only one gripe I have about this thing, and that's the fact that this has a very slow yaw rate, but it more than makes up for that slow yaw rate with the pitch. And if you guys are pitch flyers or you fly aggressively fast forward flight, you know that in order to turn or change directions, when you have very deep pitch, you really don't need a fast yaw. You just need a decent yaw as long as it's turning, because with a deep pitch, you can change directions with just a little bit of application of yaw. So this thing has a slow yaw rate, but the pitch angle on mid rates and high rates are very extreme, especially high rates. I mean, in low rates, this thing is very docile. In low rates, the yaw rate stays the same. It's slow. Actually, the yaw rate is even more slow in low rates, I believe. But once you get to intermediate level with this, when you go to the second rate, the pitch gets very extreme. I mean, the pitch on this on mid rates is like deeper than the pitch on most aircraft on high rates. It pitches very deep on mid rates, and so you can fly. It's more ideal for flying around on mid rates, because once you flip this thing to high rates, the pitch gets extreme. I mean, it's not going to hold its height when you're pitching all the way. With this thing on high rates, it almost goes vertical, and it flies really fast. It's almost out of control because of how deep the pitch is. It reminds me of Deviation, what Deviation did to the MJX X800 and the X600. That hexacopter series on Deviation, the pitch angles just became ridiculous. And the same can be said with this thing stock. In its stock form, the high rates pitch is just insane. But the lighting on this is also another thing that disappointed me, because it looks like it has a very nice lighting system. The lights, the LEDs are actually multicolored, so these LEDs can flash different colors. But they messed it up by allowing this thing to change colors, alternate between colors on all four of the LEDs. So this is not a good night flyer, I wouldn't say, because when the lights are constantly changing or flashing, it makes it hard for you to make out your orientation. So lights that are flashing multicolors are not good night flyers. They make to be bad night flyers when they do that. When you have the lights alternating in color or just flashing, it just messes up the night flight. So companies, if you're paying attention to this, please don't do any more changing lights, alternating colors and flashing and Christmas lights and stuff like that on quadcopters. That doesn't belong on quadcopters. We want night flying. Please give us one solid color in the red, well, in the rear, that's different from the colors in the front. Give me a blue set of lights in the front and a red set of lights in the back, or green is acceptable as well. Even not having red at all, just having green and blue works. As long as any color combination works, as long as you have two solid colors in the same solid color in the front, that's different from the color in the back. So yeah, this thing isn't a really good night flyer because of that. Other than that, this thing is a really nice flyer. It has headless mode. Headless mode works pretty well. It flies really fast. It's a nice space between the props, so you can put nice props on, larger props on here if you like. You can actually fit the props from the Parrot Rolling Spider on here, and makes it fly with more power. You can put the CG022 props. I mean, just about any of the props of the other micros that fit this size motor, which is a 7mm motor setup. It should be able to handle it. And I really like this thing. I like the way it flies. It flips really nice. You can do manual flips with it, but I did have one instance where I did a flip with it and it turned off. I don't know what happened, if it got confused, or maybe I didn't have the battery secure in there, because the battery hatch excuse me. The battery hatch here opens and there's a lot of space in there. Well, enough space. And sometimes I fly it with smaller batteries, and maybe the battery was moving around in there. I don't know what happened, but it turned off in mid-flight with me, really high up in the air. And it came crashing down, but no damage whatsoever. So I can say that this thing is durable. Even though it has the little stick legs there, it's actually quite durable. And there's soft landing cushion underneath there for that. This thing does support a camera. Apparently you can buy a camera version of this, and the plug is under there. It's real and all. Pretty nice flyer this thing is. I really like it. The transmitter here is an Xbox 360 style transmitter. Looks just like the Cyma X12 and X12S. Cyma X11 transmitters looks the same. Has the buttons. I have to explain this. The buttons here it's kind of hard to activate the shoulder buttons. You have to actually hit them on the corner here in order to get them successfully to activate. When you hit them, if you hit them here, they seem to not work, even though it sounds pretty clicky. It's a really clicky button, but for some reason you have to hit them on the edges here for them to actually register the button presses. And so these are all trims here, forward and side trim here. This one actually puts you in high rates. This puts you in mid rates here and low rates. And wait a minute, am I saying that right? Let me see. I think, I'm sorry. No, this actually does the return to home and the headless function. This puts you in headless mode. This does the return to home. I don't think this button here does anything. This button here. And these are, in fact, yaw trim buttons. And this button here changes the rates. Now, I remember that because it's pretty hard to change the rates. You have to hit it right here on the corner. I actually saw a Quadcopter 101 flying this quad, and I think he failed to show all the rates because the buttons here was so hard to get it to register. You have to hit it on the corner there. But I think he was flying it in mid rates. So if you saw that video and you saw how deep his pitch was on mid rates, he thought it was high, but that was only mid rates. Now, high rates, like I said, is totally extreme. It's almost vertical with this thing. But pretty nice transmitter for the most part. I was unable to pull the thumb pads off of it to try to get some sticks on it or anything. So I think they might be glued on, so you're not going to have much luck pulling that off. It might break. I was thinking I might break it. And yeah, pretty nice aircraft. I like it. Oh, also, if you have the XinLin X165, you can actually fly it with this transmitter. So the X165 is actually a nano. It's awesome to be able to fly that nano with this transmitter. So if you have it, you can fly it with that. Also, the protocol, this seems to be on a variation of the Skywalker protocol. And it does bind to the Devo and bind to Skywalker Protocol, but for some reason it doesn't respond afterwards. But you can in fact fly Skywalker Protocol aircraft with this with no problem. So I really don't understand that. It must be something with the bind ID or something like that, or I'm not sure. But for some reason it doesn't fly with the other transmitters, but this transmitter does fly the other aircraft. So that's it. The XinLin X162 follower. Pretty nice aircraft with an awesome looking design. Stolen from Wildcara, but it's an awesome design nevertheless. Thanks for watching.